It is important to be alert to motorcycles because A. They are more difficult to see than cars. B. They rarely use their headlights. C. Motorcyclists are less skilled drivers than other motorists. D. All of the above. A. They are more difficult to see than cars. Motorcycles are smaller and harder to see than cars. Because of their size, they are easily hidden in a car's blind spot. It may be difficult to judge your distance to a motorcycle and difficult to tell how fast a motorcycle is moving, so always be alert and extra cautious when near a motorcyclist. You may pass another vehicle if the line dividing your lane from the lane you wish to enter is a fill in the blank line. A. Broken white. B. Double solid yellow. C. Solid yellow. D. Solid white. A. Broken white. White lines separate traffic lanes traveling in the same direction. You may cross broken white lines to pass, as long as the passing lane is clear. When you see other drivers around you acting or reacting in anger. A. Don't make eye contact. B. Don't react with hand gestures. C. Distance yourself from the situation. D. All of these. D. All of these. When other drivers are behaving angrily, you should take action to physically and mentally distance yourself from the situation. Avoid making eye contact with them, or making body movements or gestures that could provoke them. Slow down, move over, or do whatever you safely can to put yourself out of danger. To avoid collisions with vehicles in your blind spots, you should A. Quickly turn your head to see if your blind spot is clear before changing lanes. B. Adjust your rearview mirrors every few minutes. C. Honk your horn right before turning or changing lanes. D. None of the above. A. Quickly turn your head to see if your blind spot is clear before changing lanes. Before turning or changing lanes, turn your head and glance over your shoulder in the direction of your move to see if your blind spot is clear. Never rely on your mirrors alone.
Want to ace your DMV test? Go to cheatsheets.com and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
To reduce the effects of headlight glare at night, you should look A. Straight ahead. B. Over your shoulder. C. At the center of the road. D. To the right edge of the road. D. To the right edge of the road. If oncoming drivers do not dim their headlights for you, keep your eyes on the right side of the road ahead. Do not look directly at the oncoming headlights because the glare may blind you for several seconds. You are making a left turn from a two-way street onto a one-way street. When you have completed the turn, your car should be A. In the right lane of the street. B. In the center of the street. C. In the left lane of the street. D. In the lane with the least traffic. C. In the left lane of the street. If you are turning left from a two-way street onto a one-way street, you should complete the turn into the lane closest to the lane you have just left. Which of the following is true regarding seat belts and child restraints in vehicles? A. You should never place an infant or small child in the front seat of a vehicle with airbags. B. An airbag can be dangerous to an infant or small child, even in a low-speed collision. C. You should always make sure all your passengers are using a seat belt or child restraint. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Before you drive, always fasten your seat belt and make sure all your passengers are using seat belts or child restraints. Studies have shown that if you use seat belts, your chances of being hurt or killed in a traffic crash are greatly reduced. Children age 12 and under should always ride properly restrained in a rear seat. Never put a rear-facing infant restraint in the front seat of a vehicle with a front passenger airbag. When turning or changing lanes, you must a. Always signal your intentions, even when no visible traffic is present. b. Signal only if there is visible traffic. c. Signal only when driving at night. d. Signal only when driving in heavy traffic at night. a. Always signal your intentions, even when no visible traffic is present. Always signal your intentions when changing lanes, turning, or pulling away from a curb. Do not allow yourself to become lazy and form the bad habit of not following this law. If you need to drive in foggy weather, a. Turn on your low-beam headlights. b. Turn on your hazard lights. c. It is okay to drive at the maximum speed limit. d. Do not drive at a speed above 10 miles per hour. a. Turn on your low-beam headlights. You are required to use your headlights during the day when visibility is reduced to 500 feet or less. When you first turn on your headlights, be sure they are adjusted to the low beam setting. Using high beams in fog or rain will cause the light to reflect back into your eyes, lowering visibility even more. When a traffic signal light turns green, you should a. Yield the right of way to pedestrians. b. Accelerate as quickly as possible. c. Back up slowly. d. Not move until another driver waves you on. a. Yield the right of way to pedestrians. A green light tells you that you can go through the intersection. However, you must first yield the right of way to traffic and pedestrians who are still in the intersection. You may park or stop along the shoulder of the freeway. a. As long as you turn on your four-way emergency flashers. b. If no part of your vehicle is on the road. c. If you need to look at a map for directions. d. Only if you have an emergency. d. Only if you have an emergency. It is prohibited to park on the shoulder of a freeway, except in an emergency. Always signal when a. Changing lanes. b. Pulling into or out of a parking space. c. Pulling into traffic from a parking area or alley. d. All of the above. d. All of the above. Your turn signals should always be used when you make any movement to the left or right. You should use your signal when pulling into traffic from a curbside parking space, moving into a new lane, or passing another vehicle. This sign means a. Slippery when wet. b. Watch for drunk drivers. c. Dangerous curve ahead. d. Bump in the road ahead. a. Slippery when wet. Warning signs are usually diamond-shaped with black markings on a yellow background. They alert drivers to upcoming hazards. This sign warns drivers to be extra careful when the pavement is wet because the road may become slippery, making vehicles more difficult to control. Always signal when a. Changing lanes. b. Pulling into or out of a parking space. c. Pulling into traffic from an alley or parking area. d. All of the above. d. All of the above. Always use the proper turn signal when changing lanes, pulling into or out of a parking space, or pulling into traffic from an alley or parking area. Communicate with other drivers on the road to help prevent accidents. When getting ready to change lanes, you should A. Check your side view mirror. B. Check your rear view mirror. C. Quickly turn your head to check for other vehicles. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Before changing lanes, check your side and rear view mirrors for traffic approaching you from behind. Just before you begin moving into the other lane, quickly glance over your shoulder and check for any vehicles that may be in your blind spot. A red and white triangular sign at an intersection means A. Slow down if an emergency vehicle is approaching. B. Look both ways as you cross the intersection. C. Always come to a full stop at the intersection. D. Slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary. To be safe when crossing a railroad, you should A. Look both ways, but only when the red light is flashing. B. Listen, look both ways, and then proceed if it is safe to do so. C. Cross especially quickly when a train is approaching. D. Quickly pass under any lowering gates. B. Listen, look both ways, and then proceed if it is safe to do so. Railroad crossings are always dangerous. Drivers should look and listen for an approaching train coming from either direction before proceeding across the tracks. Watch for signals indicating an approaching train and never proceed until you are certain it is safe to do so. Regulatory signs A. Are placed in every location where there is a present danger. B. Indicate what a driver must or must not do. C. Are diamond-shaped and yellow or green. D. May warn drivers that they are approaching a school zone. B. Indicate what a driver must or must not do. Regulatory signs are often rectangular and white with black markings and are used to indicate what things a driver must or must not do in a designated area. They may display speed limits, prohibit passing or turning, or clarify any other driving regulation. Front door windows on a vehicle may be tinted to no more than A. 100% light blockage. B. Whatever looks good. C. 65% light blockage. D. 50% light blockage. C. 65% light blockage. Tinting or sunscreening material is permitted on side and rear windows. Front door windows may be tinted to no more than 65% light blockage. If you are convicted of driving while intoxicated (DWI) for the second time in a 5-year period, you will A. Lose your license for only 90 days. B. Be restricted to driving on residential roadways. C. Be required to install an ignition interlock device (IID). D. Be required to drive 10 miles per hour under the speed limit at all times. C. Be required to install an ignition interlock device (IID). When convicted of a DWI, a driver who is above the age of 21 faces both administrative and court-convicted consequences. A second conviction within a 5-year period may result in license suspension for 1 year, license denial for 5 years, a fee of $1,000, and/or up to 1 year of jail time. A second conviction will require an IID to be installed before a license can be reinstated. If you experience a tire blowout, A. Take your foot off the gas. B. Do not immediately use your brakes. C. Gradually slow down and pull off the side of the road. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. If you experience a tire blowout, take your foot off the gas pedal and do not immediately apply the brakes. Gradually slow down before gently applying the brakes and pulling off the side of the road. This sign means A. Watch for drunk drivers. B. Curves ahead. C. Slippery when wet. D. Apply your brakes quickly. C. Slippery when wet. This sign warns that the road is slippery when wet. This sign means A. A divided highway ends. B. A one-way street begins. C. A one-way street ends. D. A divided highway begins. D. A divided highway begins. This sign indicates that the road ahead becomes a divided highway. Keep to the right of the divider or median. This sign means A. No right turns. B. Right turns are permitted. C. Stop before turning right. D. Sharp curve ahead. A. No right turns. A regulatory sign displaying a red circle with a red slash through the middle indicates that a specific action is prohibited. Right turns are not permitted where this sign is posted. A point accumulation advisory letter will be sent to you if you A. Have too many points taken off of your driving record. B. Accumulate a total of 4 points in 12 months. C. Do not score enough points on your driving test. D. Fail the written test. B. Accumulate a total of 4 points in 12 months. If you accumulate a total of 4 points within 12 months, you will be sent a point accumulation advisory letter. If you accumulate a total of 8 or more points within 18 months, your driving privileges will be suspended.